Imagine waking up in Liberia in 2027. You walk into a shop in Monrovia. You buy goods from Ghana. You send money to Nigeria. You trade with Senegal. And instead of converting Liberian dollars to Naira, Cedi, or CFA, you use just one currency, the ECO. Today, we break down everything you need to know about the ECO currency, including the proposed 2027 launch time frame, what it means for Liberia, the challenges ahead, and whether West Africa is truly ready. Let's dive in.
A group of 15 West African countries has adopted a new roadmap to launch a single currency in 2027 after its previous plans were derailed by the coronavirus pandemic. After a summit of the leaders in Ghana, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibro, said the new roadmap was agreed by heads of the state of the bloc. The countries hope a single currency will help to boost trade and economic growth. Nigeria, the largest economy in West Africa, currently operates a managed float for its currency, while 8 others, including top cocoa producer Cote d'Ivoire, use the front-backed cifra pegged to the euro.
What is the ECO? The ECO, often stylized as ECO, is a proposed single currency for the 15 member states of the Economic Community of West African States, better known as ECOWAS. It is designed to replace the Nigerian Naira, Ghanaian Cedi, Liberian dollar, Sierra Leonean Leone, and the West African CFA franc. The goal: strengthen regional integration, boost trade, reduce transaction costs, create a common monetary policy. Think of it like Europe's euro, but for West Africa. Which countries are involved? The 15 ECOWAS member states originally targeted for the ECO include Benin, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Togo. However, recent political tensions have complicated matters. In 2024, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger announced withdrawal plans from ECOWAS, creating uncertainty around regional unity. This directly impacts the ECO project. ECO launch timeline. When will it start? Originally, the ECO was scheduled to launch in 2020, but COVID-19 disrupted economies. Inflation targets weren't met. Budget deficits were too high. Now, ECOWAS leaders have set a revised target, 2027, that is the current official commitment. However, experts caution that the timeline depends on whether countries meet strict economic convergence criteria. What are the convergence criteria? To adopt a single currency, countries must align economically. Some key requirements include low inflation, budget deficit below agreed thresholds, stable exchange rates, limited public debt. This concept is tied to macroeconomic stability. For example, governments aim to control inflation growth over time, which can be represented conceptually as y equals a times 1 plus r to the power of ty equals a times 1 plus r to the power of t. This formula illustrates how economic variables like prices can grow over time depending on rate, r. If inflation grows too quickly, monetary union becomes risky. That's one of the biggest obstacles for the ECO.
In the past, the project kept stalling. Some countries had high inflation, others were running heavy debt, and many currencies were too unstable. But officials at the Monrovia meeting say political support is now stronger than ever.
The climb to convergence and subsequent launch of the ECO is just a year away. The launch day may seem steep, but it is not insurmountable. Our community yearns for an economically and monetarily integrated region.
What does this mean for Liberia? Liberia currently uses the Liberian dollar, the US dollar widely circulated. Adopting the ECO would mean replacing or phasing out the Liberian dollar, adjusting monetary policy, aligning fiscal discipline with ECOWAS standards. Potential benefits for Liberia: easier trade with Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, reduced currency conversion costs, more investor confidence, greater regional integration. Potential risks: loss of independent monetary control, vulnerability to economic instability in larger economies like Nigeria. Adjustment shocks: Liberia would need to significantly strengthen fiscal discipline before 2027. Flexible or pegged to euro? One of the biggest debates surrounding the ECO is, should it be pegged to the euro? The current West African CFA franc is pegged to the euro with French backing. Some critics argue this limits African monetary sovereignty. The ECO is expected to operate under a flexible exchange rate, but discussions continue. This decision will determine trade competitiveness, inflation, stability, foreign reserve requirements. It's a delicate balancing act. Phased rollout possibility. Because not all countries meet the convergence criteria, ECOWAS is considering a phased rollout, meaning countries that qualify first could adopt the ECO early, others would join later. This prevents stronger economies from being held back by weaker ones, but it also risks dividing the region. The West African Central Bank: for the ECO to function, a West African Central Bank must be established. This institution would set interest rates, control money supply, regulate banking systems, ensure price stability. This would be similar to the European Central Bank. For Liberia, this means monetary decisions would no longer be made solely in Monrovia. Major challenges ahead. Let's be realistic. The ECO faces serious hurdles: political instability in some member states, economic disparity between Nigeria and smaller economies, public debt concerns, withdrawal tensions, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, inflation control. If countries cannot align policies, the 2027 target may slip again.
So for now, the ECO remains a plan with a deadline. If it launches in 2027, it could rewrite how West Africa trades. Whether it becomes a reality or stays a plan will depend on whether these countries can move together economically.
Will the ECO happen? The ECO represents economic independence, regional strength, a new chapter for West Africa. But it also requires discipline, unity, stability for Liberia. The ECO could be transformative if managed correctly. 2027 is the target. But whether that date becomes history or another postponement depends on decisions being made right now. What do you think? Should Liberia adopt the ECO? Is West Africa ready for one currency? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, because Africa's future is being written today, and the ECO could be one of its biggest chapters.